It's Julia Renee.
And Kendall Aaliyah. Welcome back to the Know Your Power podcast.
Hello, my loves. It's Julia here. Welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Power podcast. Today, I am doing a solo episode, and Kendall is also doing a solo episode this week because Kendall had an issue with her car. I'm sure we will give you guys the deep dive on it on the next episode, but we didn't want to miss any time with you guys, so we decided to do some solo filming this week. So for my episode, I really wanted to talk about my prep. So if you've been following me on Instagram, if you've been following me on YouTube, you are seeing basically the day-to-day life of what it's been like being on prep for it'll be my first, second, third, this will be my fourth pro show. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But I've talked a little bit about it on the podcast, but not too much. So I really wanted to dive into some of the things that I have been struggling with, some of the things that I have learned, how my prep is actually going, all of that. So I did want to at least dive into one of the hardest weeks of my bodybuilding prep, which was kind of like my own doing a little bit, but it really taught me something. So this past week was probably the hardest week of prep that I have had so far, mainly because I think I just overdid it. So obviously I'm depleted physically, mentally, emotionally, willingly as well. But I did go to Florida over the weekend, of 4th of July weekend actually, and then came back for one day. And then I went to Houston to do a 2-day Buff Bunny shoot, which I know it doesn't sound like, it's a photo shoot, it's not that big of a deal, but it takes a lot of physical energy out of you, like switching outfits, posing, just imagine posing, how hard it is to hold a bodybuilding pose and doing that on camera and, when you don't have very much food in you and you're depleted. And I'm not saying this to be complaining or anything. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. But I think just maybe the traveling and then the being one day home and then the picking it up back again was a little bit too much on me. And oh my God, I was so tired, so fatigued after that. And then that's when my back, and my right hip started really acting up to the point where I just had to lay on the couch straight. I was I need to just stay in this position and I can't move. It was bad. It was a pain that I had never really felt before. And I got some body work done, the chiropractor, got some body work done again. And I'm feeling so much better now. But what it taught me during that time is that I needed to set better boundaries with my energy. So, and this goes for prep and not in prep. This can be energy with who you're giving your energy to as far as people, friends, and family, especially if you're not getting the kind of energy back that is positive for your life. Do you know what I mean? So say that you have this person in your life that you go and hang out with them and then you leave and you're dang, why do I feel so drained? That should be a little red flag being maybe this person drains energy instead of gives me energy, That's why I love surrounding myself with people like Kendall and my best friend Maya and Alexa and Katie and my sister Chloe and my friend Morgan too, because whenever I'm around them, I just can just be, you know what I mean? Just be. And you don't have to try. If you have high energy that day, they're cool. If you have low energy that day, they're cool, And it's just, you leave and you feel so much better. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying energy around people that are in your circle, and then protecting your energy with saying no to things and setting boundaries, especially when you're on prep for a bodybuilding show, or when your life is just hectic and it's busy, you got a lot going on and you feel this obsessive need to say yes to all of the things, even if it comes at the cost of you and your sanity and you know what I mean? And I just learned that I need to be better at doing that, especially this close to a show. I'm probably going to be signing up for a show here in the next couple of days. And even though like I want to go everywhere and I want to do all of the things, I can see these people, I can't come at the cost of my prep and how I show up on stage because my energy is very limited. So I think that was my last, like, okay, that was the last 2 big trips that I'm taking before I step on stage. You know, I learned my lesson. Maybe I shouldn't like back to back book things like that. My digestion was off. My back went out. I was utterly exhausted, and you probably hear me a little sniffly. I feel like I'm starting to get a little sicky boo boo, like a little coldish. So I definitely learned my lesson. But if that sounds like you, where you're constantly like overbooking yourself or saying yes to things that even though your gut is saying like, okay, maybe this isn't a good idea, just take a look at that, because you could be leaving yourself utterly exhausted. And at what cost? Like, is it coming at the cost of your mental health, like your sanity, like the goals and the aspirations that you have for your life? Because you got to fill your cup up first before you start pouring into other people. Because if you're pouring from an empty glass, these people are getting dribbles of your energy levels anyways. And wouldn't you want to be your best self when you go into those situations? I know I would. So I had 2 other opportunities that came up after that. And I wanted to like say yes so bad. And I was like, okay, Julia, what did we just learn? So I said no, and I set my boundaries, and it's like, hey, you know, I'm X weeks out from a show, and I'm just real tired, like I'm fatigued, and you know what? I'm not going to be able to do those things. And you know, that might be a hard thing to do with people too in your life, and some people might not respond the best way, but that's just your sign that those are not your people. But other than that, I'm feeling so much better physically. I think mentally, this has been the best prep that I have had in all my years of competing. And I think that just comes with time, practice, maturing in the sport, and knowing that like certain things are going to show up, like a loss in strength, overthinking your prep, overanalyzing your body dysmorphia, perfectionism, fatigue. Like, I already know that these things come with bodybuilding, and they used to affect me so much in my past preps to where, oh man, I was like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. But now it's so much easier to be like, okay, you know, you're X weeks out from a show. This is typically what happens around this time. So I don't think too much of it. So for example, right now, every single time that I get this close to a show, the same thing pops up. And it's usually, I like to call them bodybuilding glasses. I have these bodybuilding glasses on where I am only looking at my physique in terms of where can it improve, rather than look how far I've come. You've done such a good job. You're so happy, and like you're positive, and you're still doing all of the things. It's only where can I improve? Oh, my glute ham tie needs to be tighter. Oh, I need to lose a little bit of back fat or whatever. So since I have competed over these years, now I just know, you know, you're getting to that point where you're overanalyzing your physique and you're being more critical about, I wouldn't say critical, maybe that's not the word, because I'm looking at my physique and I'm not like, oh, like you need to be better, like this looks bad. It's more like just logical, you know, like rather than being like, good job, Julia. It's like, all right, we need to do this. We need to do this. We're almost there. Come on. So I'm noticing that that is coming up. And in the past, I would really let it affect like my prep and how I showed up, my mood. I would have anxiety, like, oh my God, am I going to be ready? Like all of those things. And now with time, I've just been like, okay, like it'll come up. Maybe I'm like looking at my physique, or I'm posing, or I'm getting super tired, fatigued, maybe cranky. And I'm just like, you know, it's okay. This is what comes with the lifestyle that I am choosing. And it's so much easier for me to just shake it off. And that's the thing about growth and having more self-awareness as we get older is that it's not about eliminating these issues that come up. It's about learning how to manage them better when they do. Does that make sense? So let's take the body dysmorphia, for example. In the past, when I would be looking at my physique and analyzing it or comparing myself to others, and I was not as far along in my personal development journey, I would let it wreck my entire day, man. And I would then spiral into like, I'm a failure and I'm never going to go anywhere. Like everybody else is just better than me. I should just give up. Like all of these thoughts, which are so limiting. And like I would be thinking about it for days. Sometimes even like I'd be in that for a week. But with time and with practice, now when these thoughts pop up, I always like to use the example of kind of like I kind of flick it off my shoulder. Now I can just flick it off my shoulder and be like, meh. And it doesn't mean we're eliminating them completely. That's not the goal because life is going to happen. You can't expect for it to be sunshine and rainbows all the time. But you can get better at showing up when the crap does show up. And that's what I am learning now that I'm like, okay, whatever. Sometimes it might take a little longer. Sometimes it's super quick. Like it'll happen in seconds. So that was one of the things that has been popping up for me right now. And, we're getting really, really close, but I'm also getting so excited. And this has been one of the best. It has been the best prep so far. And that has been so crazy because I am doing less cardio. I am eating a little bit more. Like I'm still having pretty low calories, but in the grand scheme of things, it's almost like my body is like rewarding me from all of the past times that I've had to like push even harder than where I've had before. I don't know. Pushing and hard is relative, but because I know the amount of like fatigue that I've had in other preps or the amount of cardio that I've had to do in other preps or low calories that I've had to do. Now that it's different, I'm not doing as high of cardio. I'm not having as low of calories. I'm kind of just more grateful, because I know what levels I can dig to. And I'm like, well, I've already been there. I've seen that. So I'm just grateful for where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? I don't know. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense to you guys, but I'm super pumped. I am getting ready to start like booking show dates, like getting my suits in, deciding on a color, like booking the Airbnb, all of the things. Like it's so exciting. I always have so much fun on that. Like there's always like a check-in day where my coach is like, okay, we're signing up for the show. And then in my head, I'm like, go, 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 go. And I'm like, okay, book your nails. Make sure you have a fill, book your facial. Like I book all of the things and I am ready. And it's so fun doing all of that. And then it's like, you get all glammed up. You spend like months preparing for something like this and you kind of look like a little garbage rat for a while. And then you just get all glam and you get to go and do it. So, I've also been trying to be a little bit more calm and give myself more grace. I'm still showing up and doing what I need to do, but moving at a slower pace when I can, because there are times that I can't just due to my schedule. But whenever I have the chance to slow down, I take it. And I force myself to take it because there's a lot of times where I try to feel the need to fill it with other work and stuff. Like today, that's what I'm doing, for example. where I'm just going to do what is required of me, and that is all I'm going to do. And I am going to stop there and relax and not have any guilt for doing that. And that's a great feeling. So I am super pumped. I will update you guys as soon as I can for the show dates and everything. You guys will know about it so that you can watch a live stream or whatever. But I love you all so much, and you are more powerful than you think. Bye.